Hello friends, in this video we shall discuss how Django connect to database. So the frequently used database for Django is Postgres is a database which is frequently used by developers for Django, and other databases are MySQL. And if you have small application, you can also use SQLite SQLite3 database, and for some other complicated projects you can also use Oracle and Microsoft SQL database. In some cases you can also use document based or NoSQL type database like MongoDB. So these are the databases which are normally used in for Django, and you can see that database is a collection of data, and database can contain tables. Tables is nothing but a collection of rows and columns, and in these tables data is saved in different fields. So the scope of this video is to tell how to connect to the database. In this video, I shall discuss how to connect to the already configured database in the Django. So, if you see in the Django project which we have already created in our previous video, if I go to the setting files which is already opened, and you can see that, just scroll down here and let us check the settings for the database, and you can see here it is the settings for a database, and this setting is already configured by Django, and by default Django is using SQLite. So Django has the already necessary driver to connect to the SQLite database. Every database has some server service which runs so that it can serve its DB services. But if we talk about SQLite, SQLite is just a file. You can see this is a file, just a file, and it doesn't have any server. It doesn't have any independent process. You can directly connect to this database. It is just a single file. Okay, so whenever you run a new project, and because it is a new project and we haven't configured any database yet, but SQLite is already there, and we can use this SQLite, and if you run this project, you can see you have this message from Django. It says that you have 18 unapplied migrations. So what are these migrations? We haven't applied migration now. If we run migration, Django will create some tables for the apps like admin, auth, content types, and session. So it will create some tables, and these apps are already listed in the app list. So you can see that these are already listed. So for this apps, it will create some tables, and this app is created by us, but we haven't defined any database models here. I shall tell you about database models in my subsequent videos. So Currently we shall run migration, so we can uh, check how the tables are created. So in order to connect to SQLite, you need some software. You can search Google and you can download from there like SQLite. You just type SQLite browser, download, and you can just go to this site. Just go to this site and SQLite browser. So you can download from here. If you are using Windows, just download the 64-bit. If you are using Windows 10 or Windows 11, so 64-bit, you should download it. And for Mac OS, you can download this one. So currently I am using uh, Mac OS, and also there is version for Ubuntu. You can also install by running these commands. You can also install SQLite browser on Ubuntu if you are using Ubuntu. So in my case, I have already installed the SQLite browser. Just let me open the browser here, DB browser for SQLite. You can see it is. I'm opening it. One minute, let me try again. So it is getting opened. So what is the use of this DB browser? This DB browser is mainly created for SQLite, and it helps us to open the SQLite DB file so we can check the tables there. Just click on this open database and you can check here my this is my project. So I am opening here. This is the file. I already show you in the Visual Studio. So this is the file. So just open it, and you can see there is nothing has been created by Django here because we haven't done the migrations. Once you run the migration command, it will create the tables. Okay, it will create the required tables for the different apps. Okay, which is already there. So let us run the migration command. Let me clear this and type the migration command. And this is the migration command, and you can type this command which will create tables for different apps. Just press enter here, and you can see that migrations have been applied. You can see we applied for content types app, then for auth app, then for admin apps, again for content types app, then for auth app, and then for sessions app. So migrations have been applied. These files were already there in the Django. Django were reading. Django was reading these files, and it has created uh, tables according to the files which were already there. So just go to the SQLite browser, and we need to refresh it. So you can see here, by refreshing, you can just reopen it. So by reopening it, get refreshed, and you can see that almost 11 tables have been created, and these are indexes have been also created for each table, of almost for each table, and 15 indexes have been created. So there are 11 tables. So this table is mainly used to save users which we create. And like for example, if you create browse table, so there is no user there, because Django already has the uh, auth to create users and to provide login and logout facilities for the user. It contains different functions for managing users. It also contain facilities for assigning permissions to users on different parts of the applications, which shall we discuss later on. So in this Django underscore migration, this is one table you should take note of it, because it contains the migration which have been applied. You can see the migrations here. So and you can see the session. You should take note of this session. This session table is used when a user log in to a site, and then a session key is created and session data is saved. Also the expiry date is saved here. Okay, so you can see that user is saved here, user information is saved here, but there is no user yet. Okay, you can see that there is no user yet, but we should create one user. Let me create one super user here. So let me type any name, like username is admin, and you can type any. I am typing any, just a fake email address here, but you should type a proper one. Okay, so just type password here. I am typing a complex password here, so password should be complex. So you can see we have already created a user here, and let me refresh it, and you can see user has been created, and username is admin, and you can see that there are different fields, and these are already created. The password is saved here, but password is encrypted. Okay, password is encrypted here. As the password is in encrypted form, you can't tell what is the actual password. Okay, so you should remember the password. So this is all about SQLite. You can use DB browser of SQLite to browse the tables, and you can see that it is very easy to connect to the SQLite database. You have to just run the migration so that all the tables are created, and you can use the DB browser for SQLite to check the tables, and you can also create database models so that new tables can be created. We shall, in the subsequent videos, we shall discuss how to create database models, and I shall also discuss how to connect to MySQL and PostgreSQL databases. So that's all from my side today. If you like it, subscribe my channel. Thank you.